Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer this evening, Logan Landers. And joining me, as always, on Wednesdays is the man who represents the 901 by way of Memphis, Tennessee. Better than anyone I've ever seen represent a hometown before in their life. He gives shouts out on every single video almost, man. It's our guy, the football encyclopedia, you might know him as, a.k.a. Mr. Football, Vincent Turner. How you doing, Vince?
Hey, man. How you doing this evening?
Hey. Doing awesome, Vincent. Doing awesome. Ready to talk some football with you as always on Wednesday. And we got a good one tonight. So be sure if you guys enjoy this video, whether you're watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channels. You can see all of our old content we've done with some draft profiles, team previews, legends interviews. We got anything over here you want to watch. We got a lot of great football content and some basketball content that's coming back now as well. So we got anything that you want. If you love sports, just follow us. So we're talking about Chris Rump today, coming out of Duke. He's a defensive end / linebacker, very versatile defensive player, and he's been turning a lot of heads, Vince. He's been turning some heads, and he's ready to go into this NFL draft. So without further ado, tell us your breakdown of this young man and give us your world-famous grade report on Mr. Chris Rump.
Well, I'm going to start with Mr. Rump. I think it's a young man that's going to be one of the best pass rushing prospects to come into this draft, a coach's son. Right now, Chris Rump Sr., who is his father, the defensive line coach for the Chicago Bears, and his father's coached some greats like J.J. Watt that played with the Houston Texans, now with the Arizona Cardinals. So when you look at this young man, you got to understand that this is a young man that grew up around the game, probably has an advantage in the draft, and basically know what he needs to do. And he went to a pretty good academic school in Duke. Can't get no better than that. Can we not, Logan? But I'm going to get into the young man, what I like about him. He's 6'4", 235. Right now, a guy that's wiry, but a guy's got a lot of explosion off the edge. When you look what he did in his Duke career, he was a guy that had pretty good production in 2020, 53 tackles. But this is the key. We know how important it is in the NFL to have pass rushers. He had 8 sacks this season in a pandemic year. For his career, he got 124 tackles. He got 33 tackles for and 17.5 sacks. So they're telling you this is a young man, even though he's not big as your prototype defensive end, he's a guy with a little more weight, 235, to 255. He can wreak havoc off the end. Now my grade report on him. He brings great effort every time, A+. Outstanding processor. What I mean by that, he's a guy that sees where he wants to go, inside or out, boom, he's gone. As I just said, pass rushing ability, A+. Closing burst. When he gets around it in, zooming in on a quarterback, A+. And one other thing, he was born in Gainesville, Florida, when his daddy was a coach there. Most of all, he went to the same high school as Fred Marion, who ended up being a pretty good safety with the New England Patriots. And think about this, Logan, Fred Marion, you know what Thornton Road is in Douglasville, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
You know that Hyundai dealership?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Marion owns that. Just give me a little nugget. Yeah, just give me a little nugget this evening. Then, excuse me, I'm trying to, excuse me, one pin.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
We all good here.
I'm sorry. I apologize to the people this evening. I should have had my phone off. Then he's home of Doug Johnson, who's a former quarterback at the University of Florida. Went to the same high school as Vernon Maxwell, outstanding basketball player at Florida, and another great football player that Mr. Rump went to the same high school there in Gainesville, Mr. Lamar Thomas. But what I like about the young man, as I always say, I compare him to a lot of great other players that play this game. To me, his athletic ability, I'm going to talk about that. It's a little bit like Boss Phelan. They played at the University of Georgia. There was a very athletic linebacker, but I consider him a pass rusher when he got to the next level. A Columba Edwards, another guy locally from the Metro Atlanta area that played in South Carolina. Jamal Reynolds, he puts me in a mind with the same skill set that went to Florida State. That was a first-round pick. Jimmy Gunn, who's the outstanding football player. You weren't born then, Logan. I'm talking about 1969 with the USC Trojans that I saw. Mr. Rump has got that same type of feel of game to him. Then another great one, steady, wasn't as quick, But when you look at Mr. Rump was a very productive football player, dude. He got a little Jacqueline Youngblood, Hall of Famer out of University of Florida that played with the LA Rams. Then another guy, A.J. Dewey out of LSU that used to get to the quarterback that went to the Miami Dolphins. And then finally, John Abraham, another South Carolina guy. Chris Rump, to me, has all those qualities when you're looking at a football player going to the next level. A guy who's going to be able to get after the passer. He's not a guy that we per se is good against the run. But in a pass-happy NFL, you need guys who can rush the passer. All I got to say is go back to the 2021 Super Bowl. And what did Shaquille Barrett do? What did Jason Pierre-Paul do? And what did Mr. Sue do that game? They were very good that evening. But if you want to look at game film on the young man, all you got to do is go 2019 against the University of Miami, and he had 3.5 sacks. This young man on the next level, coach's son, I think it's going to be a productive football player, and I like him. He's a guy that can get after the passer.
You brought up a good point, Vince. You got to have that quality pass rush in the NFL. And I got 3 teams who need his pass rushing ability that he will help out a lot. So without further ado, my 3 teams I think this young man will be a quality fit for. The first one, Who Dat Nation, the New Orleans Saints. The Saints, they're going through a tumultuous time now. They just lost their longtime Hall of Fame quarterback in Drew Brees. Their offense is about to get turned in a 180. You don't know what's going to be happening now with Jameis Winston under helm. It might work out great. It might not. We'll have to see. But they got to solidify that defense as well. Now, we all know Trey Hendrickson. He went over to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Big loss.
That is a big loss. He got 13.5 sacks last year, Vince. That is a heart-wrenching moment for that defense. He was a great defensive end. You got to replace him somehow. Chris Rump, he's got a lot of shoes to fill if he does the New Orleans. But I think that he could potentially get up to that 13 sack range as long as he keeps improving. Because like you said, back when he was back in the ACC with Duke, he got better each and every year. He got 8 sacks, then 13.5, and then 11.5 this past 2020 season. So he's proven that he can do it in the college level. We just got to see if it'll translate to the NFL where they're a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger. I think he can match up with the best of them. My second team I have the young man headed to, the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. Look, they got a really good defensive end with Fletcher Cox. Let's not forget, he is still a force to be reckoned with. Let's not deny that now. He's getting a little bit older, but I think that he could still, if he goes to the Eagles, he could learn, he could get better, and most importantly, he's going to get a lot stronger with that Eagles system because you got to have a tough skin to be an Eagles player now. They're ruthless down there in Philadelphia. So I think that he would be a good fit there. And I think he could help out that Eagles defense, who they just got Jalen Hurts, who's going to be leading the charge for them for the time being. We'll see how that young man does down there, but they got to get a better defense too. They struggled a little bit last year. But I think if they can get Chris Rump, who can learn and get better and better, I think that'd be phenomenal. And finally, my third team, I'm keeping it in the hometown, Vince, in the metro Atlanta area. I got him going to the black and red with the Atlanta Falcons. Let's be real. The Falcons, their defense, it's been a little spotty over the past couple of seasons. Mostly the secondary, but let's not deny it now. The pass rush has still just not been there the last couple of years. You know, they had a really good season with Vic Beasley a couple of years ago. He kind of fell off the map. You know, you mentioned John Abraham a little while ago. He was great for him. He could get to the quarterback in a second. But, hey, the Falcons have just been struggling a little bit to get that one consistent pass rusher. And I think Chris Rump, he might be a blessing in disguise. If he can go to the Atlanta Falcons, he could really help out that team. Because let's not deny it, the offense talent is there. They have all the pieces. They just need some help on the defense. And that could be a team, like we said, they were in the Super Bowl a couple of seasons ago. They could maybe go back if they can just bolster up that defense and just get stronger. So, hey, be sure to drop a comment if your team's on the board first off that I picked, the Saints, the Eagles, or the Falcons. Hey, if my team wasn't listed, drop who you think he should go to. And we appreciate it here at 100 Yards of Football. So, Vince, give me your final words on the young man coming out of Duke University, going to get his name called in just a few weeks in the NFL draft.
I know a lot of people out there have a perception that Duke don't produce good football players, But this young man right here, I'd be very surprised that he don't be a player at the next level in rushing the passer. I think he's a guy that's got a lot of upside. I think he's a guy, whatever team he goes to, if he adds a little weight, he could play in this league 7 to 8 years and be a 7 to 8 sack guy every year. That's who good I think this young man is. I think he's got tremendous athletic ability. Like I said before, it reminds me a lot of Boss Bailey. That was a hell of an athlete that had a 46-inch vertical at Georgia. So that being said, I'm going to go back in time here. As you know how I do it. Duran had a song called Election Day. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it misconstrued. This young man, even though he played at Duke, and his father's a D-line coach in the National Football League with the Chicago Bears right now, Chris Rump is going to be Election Day in the 2021 NFL Draft.
Yes, sir. I think he will be as well. And you brought up a good point. I could definitely see him averaging the 7 to 8 sacks per season for a long time in the NFL. Like I said, I think he might even reach that double digits a time or two. We'll have to see, but he's definitely got all the tools in his toolbox to be a high-quality pass rusher in the NFL for whatever team this young man's headed to in just a few short weeks at the NFL Draft. So, hey, if you guys have enjoyed this draft profile here tonight, first off, thank you for watching us so much. Whether you're watching us live on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, over there on Twitch as well, but we are live for all of our shows. Thank you so much for tuning in. Also, be sure to like the video, comment what team you think this young man's going to head to, if you have any favorite memories of his from Duke. And also be sure to share to all the Facebook groups you're in. If you're in a Duke Facebook group, if you're in any of the NFL teams you think this young man will be headed to, share it there as well. We appreciate all the love and support, as always, here at 100 Yards of Football. Also, hey, if you enjoy our show, be sure to go check out our brand new podcast. We'll be doing it for a few months now. Go check us out over on Spotify. Just type out 100 Yards of Football. You'll see our logo there at the 50-yard line. You can check out all of our old draft profiles, old game previews, see if we got the scores right. Our amazing Legends interviews every single week with our guy Bobby Butler from the Atlanta Falcons by way of Florida State University. All those great guys. We got head coaches on the show, we got Hall of Famers, former college greats, former NFL greats. We got everything over there. We also got a little bit of basketball too with Coach Brian Spencer, head basketball coach of Carver Bible College, doing his show now, and it's always great to have all of our amazing content at 100 Yards Football. But if you don't enjoy Spotify too much, you can head on over to Apple Podcasts as well. We upload our daily shows. You can see all of our amazing content, whether it's from this week or any of the previous weeks or months that we've been doing it here. Thanks to the Believe Podcast Network for always helping us out, and we have appreciated them from the get-go. Hey, well, for my man, Mr. Football, Vincent Turner, who's brought his knowledge, his A-game once again, talking about Chris Rump coming out of Duke. Thank you so much, Vince. You always bring a joy to my day whenever we talk some football on Wednesdays, and it's always a pleasure. I've been your producer this evening, Logan Landers, and be sure to tune in because we got some more great content right here on 100 Yards of Football.